Welcome to episode 62 of Caleb's Basketball Pod. For this, we're going to talk about some teams going upward and some teams going downward. So let's start with just about 4 or 5 games in the season for everyone right now. But let's start with the Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz are the only team currently in the NBA yet to win a game. Not impressive by any means. They're losing. They're really not keeping the games close. I've had like maybe 1 or 2 close. Most of them's kind of blowouts. And just not competing. Marketing, he's playing really well, but like, that's it. Like, I'm not really sure what our game plan is. What, like, our guards. We have George and Sexton in the backcourt. We have Marketing at the 3. I mean, like, what's the game plan? What are we building on towards for the future? I don't see it. I don't see what Utah's doing. I don't see why Marketing signed back unless he's okay with not winning and not winning a championship and not being in that level. Because there's a lot of teams like Golden State and others that would take a shot on him. And, of course, they would, pick him up. But it's like, right now, he's still in Utah and they're losing and he can't be traded for this season. I personally don't get it. I think Marketing would be better suited somewhere where he could win and he could be a big impact player there. Let's talk about the Philadelphia 76ers. Yeah, everybody's going to say, well, they're missing Embiid, they're missing George. Well, we haven't seen George on the team, first off. We've seen him in preseason a little bit. Doesn't mean anything. We haven't seen him on regular season team. We're not sure how he's going to gel. Sure, he'll gel fine, but we want to see him gel with Joel Embiid. And we don't know what this undisclosed injury is to Joel Embiid on why he's missed every game so far. There's no update on the timeline for when he will return. And then the 76ers got fined $100K for the statement regarding Joel Embiid's injury. So what's going on here? Like, are we going to play Joel Embiid? Is he really injured? Because the NBA is looking into it. Is he really injured? Or are we just resting him and saying, well, the start of the season is not that important. We need him for late in the playoffs. And if so, you're chipping the fans. So I'm not sure where the Sixers are. I just know they're really going downhill. And they're not winning much, to be honest, at all. They're just there right now. And you don't want to lose too much where it's too late because other teams are hot and you can't catch up. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. We're hoping Joel Embiid's back maybe next week or the week after. But you don't want to do this and you don't want to say like, hey, this is our game plan. Our game plan's to not play our best player for half of a season and hope the other guys follow through and pick up the slack. And it's like, and what kind of best player is that? If he's not going to play for half a year, is he your best player? Because I'd say your best player is the guy on the floor every single night trying to win you games, which right now is only Tyrese Maxey. So Sixers, I don't know. I don't like what I'm seeing from them, and we don't know what the full story is. But if they're just resting Embiid and he's not injured, that's disrespectful to the fans. Going to save my last not doing well team for after I talk about a couple winning teams and really playing really good teams. Well, last 2 we'll go with. Let's start with winning teams playing really good. Okay, the Cleveland Cavaliers have won 5 straight to start this season. Right now, number 1 in the league, having played more games than OKC, who is also undefeated 4-0. Your last 2 undefeated teams, Oklahoma City Thunder, Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, from what I'm seeing from the Cavs, a lot better ball movement. Number 2 in offensive rating. Number 3 in defensive rating. To be top 5 in both is insane, and who knows if it'll last throughout the year. But I like what I'm seeing from them right now. Taking big steps forward, and they scored 133 times last season, all season, and they've already done it 3 times already in the first 5 games this season. Kenny Atkinson has came in and made a world of difference, and way too early predictions through 5 games, he would be my coach of the year. On the flip side, in the Western Conference for the Oklahoma City Thunder, you have the Thunder just balling out. Chet Holmgren has took that next step forward. He looks like a budding superstar. Jalen Williams is still doing Jalen Williams feigns, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is still an MVP contender. I mean, what much more can you ask for from the Thunder? And then, on top of it, Caruso's fitting in what seems to be seamlessly. We haven't got to see Hawkinstein. I think he's been injured, so we don't know how he's going to fit, but I'm sure he'll fit just fine. But Thunder, Cavs, both looking pretty good. I'd like to see the Thunder tested a little bit more. I think the Cavs got tested with two good teams in their last two games with Knicks and Lakers, and a big test coming on Friday when they play Orlando, which is another team I want to talk about real quick. So I just want to see Oklahoma get tested, see how they do against a higher echelon team in the Western Conference or even the East. Boston's playing really well. They dropped one to Indiana in a shootout. It seemed like neither team could really get any stops, especially down the stretch. We know Boston's defense is better than what we've seen last night, so I think they'll be fine. Indiana got the signature win of the season. A team striving to get one. But let's just go back to not playing so well. Indiana not playing well right now. They did get a big win last night. Maybe they'll turn their season around. But this is the thing about Indiana. I was talking to someone about this the other day. Once you play this speed style, it's a different style. It is get the ball up court. So you pass to whoever's closest to the basket. You have them push. And it's this fast-paced style, and it's different. Okay, well, it's different for a season. So last season it was different. They called a lot of teams off guard. They were able to pretty much score on anyone. It's not different this year. We seen you do it last year. We're preparing every time we play you that you're about to do that offense. So until their defense comes around, I don't think Indiana is going to be a threat in the Eastern Conference. My hot take for the day. But then let's look at Orlando. Paolo is out there leading his guys. 50-point game. Amazing game from him. It was on Indiana, who I just spoke on. Don't play great defense, but you can't take anything away from Paolo. Paolo is a future superstar of the league, and to be honest, I know it's his second year, but right now Paolo's looking better than Wembanyama. And I'm just saying, I mean, right now it's early, but Paolo looks like the guy that's taking the next step into be a superstar of the NBA. Looks like him and Chet right now. They look like the younger 2 or 3 year guys that are taking the next step forward to be a superstar in the league. So I love what I'm seeing from that. I think the Orlando team is really, really good. And I keep saying this, but I still love the KCP signing. You address an issue without hurting your team. You address the issue of shooting without hurting your defense. I love that signing. So I think Orlando's the team that's going to be playing, and they're going to be a top 4 or 5 seed in the Eastern Conference, I believe, if they keep playing like this and Paolo stays healthy and the team stays healthy. But they have a good team. And Anthony Black, I believe it is playing really well, really good basketball right now for the Orlando Magic too. So I just wanted to shout him out. Now let's look at our last not-so-good team. This is the Milwaukee Bucks. They won their first game against a unbeaten George-less Philadelphia Sixers, which I just spoke on. But that's it. They've dropped games to Brooklyn. Brooklyn is not a good team. They dropped that game to Brooklyn. They dropped the game to Chicago. They just don't look good. They look out of sync. And people think, oh, well, when Middleton comes back, it fixes the issues. It don't fix the issues. There's so many issues. There's not only not a forward guy to score and someone to score besides Giannis or Dame, but there's the issues of your defense is horrible. It's early in the season, but they're like lower 20s defensively in the NBA. Like, you are winning games like this. You guys are supposed to be championship contenders. You have Giannis, you have Damian Lillard. There's no excuse to not be a championship contender. You have Doc Rivers, former NBA champion coach. There's really no excuse to be playing basketball like this. This is not good basketball. And you can't fire Doc. You're always paying Budinger and Griffin. You can't fire Doc, or you're paying 3 coaches to not coach you. And then who are you paying to coach you? So that's a big issue. And you don't want fire Doc and Darvin Ham. We saw how he did in LA with the Lakers. He's not a good coach. He's not the coach for you. So you have to make it work with Doc. But right now it's not working with Doc. And I don't see no continuity between Dame and Giannis. They just look like 2 players on the court playing separate games in what's supposed to be a team ball. You also, I heard on social media, looking around and watching highlights, like, Milwaukee don't care if they play well. Like, their bench ain't standing up, clapping and chilling. They don't care if the other person's out there playing well. Looks like every one of them wants to get the spot the other one always has. Oh, you're on the court. I want to play. I don't want to cheer you on and cheer our team on. I want to play. It's not good basketball right now. There's really no reason with the superstars of Dame and Giannis you have on the same team. You should have the best two-man game in the NBA, and you don't. And you aren't winning. And your defense is horrible. There's no excuse. Milwaukee needs to be better, and they need to figure this out quick. And Chris Middleton coming back, that's not going to answer it. That's not going to answer it. That'll help you a little bit. It'll mask it. You'll win a few more games because Middleton's back, but you're still not a championship contender. Right now, at this point, you'll be lucky to make it out of the play-in in the Eastern Conference. Just being honest, we'll take right there. Let's get to our spreads for tonight's games. By the way, I'm sorry I missed yesterday. A lot going on. I had a big exam at UCF, and I studied a lot for it. And I'm sorry, guys, I forgot to get I missed the episode yesterday, but I also forgot to get the picks episode at least out. That would have been nice. But here we are, back on the spread for tonight. We have Milwaukee at Memphis. We have Grizzlies at +6.5. I'm taking Memphis on this. Like I said, Milwaukee, they just look like they're in no man's land. We have under 229. I'm going over. Neither team's really shown that they're really great defensively yet. Houston, Dallas. We have at Dallas. Houston at Dallas. We have Dallas -6.5. Taking Dallas on that one. And I'm going over 227. Yeah, over 227. We have San Antonio at Utah. I spoke about Utah too, not playing well. We have the Spurs at -1.5. I'm going to take Utah on this. I think they either get their forced win. Yeah, I think Utah gets their forced win, so I'm taking Utah on this. We have over 229. I'd go over. Phoenix at Clippers. We have the Suns at -4.5. I'm going to take the Suns on this one. And I think they'll win by more than 5. And then have under 221. We're going to go over. We're going to go over on this. They're pretty evenly matched. It could even go overtime, so we're going over 221. Okay, that's another episode of Caleb's Basketball Pod. See you tomorrow.